So the lighting is really bad in my room, and also my camera quality is absolute ass because I'm using my phone, and for some reason the camera quality on my phone is just really bad, even though it's an iPhone, and the entire point of getting an iPhone was that it would have good camera quality. But whatever. So I had a really long day. I had a 10-hour shift, which I usually do. My shifts at work go like 10 hours, which that's not the problem. The problem is it was like really fucking hot today, and also I just got really pissed off at work. Everything was making me really mad. I wouldn't say that I was like overstimulated, but I was like, I don't know. I don't like using the word overstimulated. I feel like over the course of like the past couple of years, we've taken words that originally were really only meant for like genuine like diagnoses and like genuine like, you know, issues that people have, and just we take those words and we just slap it on something else, and they're like, oh my god, I was so overstimulated today, oh my god, that's my vocal stem, you guys want to hear my vocal stem? And then you talk about a TikTok audio. It's like, do you mean you have something stuck in your head? Is that what you're talking about? That's not a vocal stem. But yeah, today was really long at work. I got really pissed off, and then I did some grocery shopping. I grocery shopped for the week, and I got all frozen foods because honestly, one thing I've learned since moving into my apartment is that I don't like cooking. I don't like cooking. I am not a chef. The lighting in here is really bad. I'm really sorry. But I'm not a chef, and I screwed up big time when the first time I did my grocery shopping for my apartment, I bought nothing but raw meat and rice and vegetables and fruit. I don't know why I did that. I think that if you try to fit into like a certain demographic, because I was trying to fit into like the healthy clean girl demographic when I bought all that shit. I think if you're trying to fit into like a certain demographic and you have like no business being there, you're gonna know that you have no business being there, because the second I got home and I put all that shit in my fridge, I took one good look at my fridge and my pantry and I was like, wow, so I have actually nothing to eat. I tried cooking. I'm not a big fan of it. Not saying that I'll never cook, not saying that I only eat like frozen shit, but like sometimes, especially like with my long ass shifts at work, I don't want to come home and sleep over a hot stove. I see no appeal in that. And so most of the time I just don't eat anything. Or I'm like scrounging at like my roommate's fucking leftovers. Like I text her at least once a week, hey, do you want this thing in the fridge? No? Okay, I'm gonna eat it. But yeah, so work, grocery shopping. My coworker gave me an Olipop because I gave her a ride home. She also bought me a pack of cigarettes. She got me my current thing with cigarettes is Camel Crushes. I stopped smoking cigarettes for a while because I just hated like the taste of the cigarette, because it tasted like a cigarette, you know what I mean? And so I laid off them for a bit, and then a couple months ago my friend gave me a pack of menthol cigarettes, and I was like, wait, this doesn't taste like a cigarette, this actually tastes really minty, I really fuck with this. And so now I'm back on smoking, and I'm smoking menthol cigarettes. Yeah, so I got cigarettes, I got a drink. I'm like racking my brain for like things to talk about, because I've had things like running through my head like all day long, and I gotta get them out. Actually, should I just smoke one right now? I do have a bad habit of smoking in my room. The really bad thing about me having my own apartment is that it's like I can do absolutely anything I want to, and I just won't get in trouble for it because there's nobody here besides my roommate. And my roommate just doesn't give a shit. So I don't have an actual ashtray. I used one of my candles as an ashtray, but it's a candle that I don't necessarily like use that often, so it doesn't matter to me if like there are cigarette ashes in there or not, or like cigarette butts in there or not, because it's like I don't use the fucking candle, you know what I mean? So hold on. Yes. I'm also not wearing pants right now, but I do that like all the time. I don't like pants. Sometimes if I'm in bed and I can't get comfortable, I'll be like, oh wait, I have pants on, and then I take the pants off and then I'm comfortable in bed, and it's really, really beautiful in my opinion. But I will talk about the Rocky Horror Picture Show after I light this cigarette. Okay. And you may be wondering, doesn't your room smell like cigarettes if you smoke in there? Don't worry about it. I have my ways, okay? I prop open a window, I light a candle, doesn't fucking matter. And it's not something I do like super fucking often. Like I do this once in a blue moon. I only ever do this when I'm too fucking lazy to go outside. It's okay. It's okay. Rocky Horror Picture Show. First thing I want to say, Frankenfurter was a fucking freak. He was a freak in the highest fucking order. I've never seen freakiness like that in a movie. And I also think that for a movie that came out in 1975, that movie was like super ahead of its time. I feel like I have a really like misconstrued like sense of like the timeline of the queer community, because I feel like before like 1985, queerness was not really represented in the media, and it wasn't really. But for the Rocky Horror Picture Show, it was really, really, really loud, once again, for the fact that it came out in 1975. Dr. Frankenfurter is, I can't repeat the word that he calls himself because I think it's a slur and I don't want to say that, but he's like, I think he's like gender fluid or like trans or some variation of that. And then, you know, there's girls kissing. It's like, they have gay sex in that movie. Like, it's very, very, it's a very queer movie for 1975. I even think that movie is like really fucking queer for like today. Like, that movie is very, very, very gay, right? But yeah, Dr. Frankenfurter was just a fucking freak. And they don't really talk about what his problem was in the movie. The only explanation that they gave for the reason he was the way he was, I personally don't think matched the movie. I think it was just kind of out of left field. Well, actually, I will say it because, once again, the movie came out in 1975. You had 50 fucking years to watch that movie, okay? Eventually, it's revealed in the movie that Dr. Frankenfurter is a alien, which doesn't make any sense because he talks a lot about satanic shit. He talks a lot about queerness, right? Like I said, the entire movie is very gay and just very, very, I wouldn't say liberal, but him being an alien made absolutely no fucking sense. And I also hated the ending of the movie. It was beautiful, yes, the cinematography closer to the end of the movie, I loved it. However, I just really, 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 really wish they hadn't taken the direction that they did, because like I said, it made no sense. It was just, the ending for such a beautiful movie was really, really, really bad. Another character in that movie that I really admire, not that I admire Dr. Frankenfurter, but another character that I really like in that movie was Janet. I feel like she fits super well into like the Madonna horror complex thing, because in the beginning of the movie, she's like this pure virgin girl. Like, Brad is like the first guy she's ever, they haven't even, her and Brad never even had sex. They never did. She was like saving herself until Dr. Frankenfurter sneaks into her room one night and is like, hey, sleep with me. And when I tell you it took a little to no convincing, she says no like 2 times and he's like, it'll be okay. And she's like, okay. And remember when I talked about the gay sex? Right after he sleeps with Janet, he goes and he sleeps with Brad. And it also took Brad very little convincing. Like I said, this entire movie is very out of left field for 1975, right? I really don't know who greenlit this movie. how they greenlit it, how it was produced, how it was okayed back then, but apparently people weren't as conservative as I thought they were back then. I think this, as many strong points as the movie had, I'm losing my train of thought. I was talking about Janet. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not cutting anything. This is all shot in one take, so you guys gotta bear with me. Janet, Madonna Horror Complex. Okay. The reason I brought that up was because, like I said, in the beginning of the movie, she's a very, like, pure virgin. Like, I've only kissed people. Like, I've only ever been with Brad. She's very meek in the beginning of the movie. And then the more time she spends around Dr. Frankenfurter and the more time she spends in the castle, you can see her start to, like, speak up more, right? There's one scene where they're talking about Rocky's, like, muscles and body. And before, when Dr. Frankenfurter asked her, how do you like him? She was like, oh, I don't like muscles. 5 minutes later, she's like, oh, I'm a huge fan of muscles. And everyone's, like, singing and dancing about how, you know, Dr. Frankenfurter is going to get him to, like, build more muscle, right? So, over the course of the movie, like I said, she goes from, like, this very meek, virgin, pure girl to, like, complete fucking slut. Not that I think she's a slut, but, like, she slept with, like, after she slept with Dr. Frankenfurter, I guess she had this, like, awakening where she was like, I need to have more sex. And so she goes and she fucks Rocky, which is really bad because Rocky was made specifically for Dr. Frankenfurter, and he's also very jealous. So when he finds out that her and Rocky have been sleeping together, it's a whole thing. He turns him into stone. He slaps her. He tries to kill her. It's a whole fucking thing, right? But yeah, she was a character that I really enjoyed. Oh, the camera's down here. She was a character that I really enjoyed. Brad was okay. He was annoying. Brad was really annoying. He was an asshole. I think that, I don't know. I'm kind of really glad that, like, they, like, had their car break down. They had to go to the castle because I think the movie also goes to show that Brad and Janet just weren't, like, a good couple. Not that they were toxic or anything, but they just didn't match because not Sarah, I don't know why I keep calling her Sarah. Janet didn't really know who she was yet. And the only way she discovered that was by being with Dr. Frankenfurter, thus discovering that, oh wait, I really like to have sex and I really like getting wild. And that's just, I don't think that was Brad's thing. So I don't think after that whole mishap they're still gonna get married. Hopefully not. I don't know, I have like 8 minutes left of the movie to finish. I hope that 8 minutes isn't like vital for the entire movie. But yeah, I personally think it's a beautiful movie, and the soundtrack is amazing. And of course, everyone knows the soundtrack to Rocky Horror Picture Show. It was so popular, they put it in Glee. I think Glee had a whole episode on it. But really sitting down and, like, watching the movie and, like, watching the scenes that go with the songs, it's, like, it's such a cinematic experience. And especially the song Rose... I think it's Rose Tinted Windows or Rose Tinted something like that, right? That song literally almost made me cry while I was driving because the ending where it's like, don't dream it, be it, and they just keep saying that over and over, it's so beautiful. And then to see that song paired with the scene that went with it in the movie, it was like this beautiful, like, cinematographic, I hope that's a word, scene where they're all in the pool and they're like all over Dr. Frankenfurter and he's just there like floating and like his makeup is wet. It's like, oh my god, I love that movie. Yeah, I mean that's really all I have to talk about today. I didn't really have much to talk about today. I felt like filming something, so I don't know, this might suck, this might not suck, I don't know. I really wanted to talk about that movie. Not that I said much about it, but I think it's a great movie. This is probably like my 3rd time trying to watch it, and I finally did it, and I'm really proud of myself. I don't know why it took me so long. I really couldn't get past like the first 20 minutes. I feel like the first 20 minutes kind of do the entire film really shitty, because once you get past the first 20 minutes, you're like, oh wait, this is good. But the first 20 minutes, it's like this really weird, like they get to the castle and, you know, it's just a whole bunch of like singing and dancing. That's literally it. You know, it's not interesting until like where Dr. Frankenfurter goes, come up to the lab and see what's on the slab. So but yeah, I really like that movie, and I just wanted to kind of talk about stuff, which I did. So I'm gonna go now. Goodbye.